Hi, I'm Will, and today I'm going to talk about a movie that was written and directed by Barry Jenkins. We're going to talk about Moonlight here on the Geezer Guide to Better Living. Most of you who follow my YouTube channel know that I have a top 10 movies that you must see in 2016. Moonlighting wasn't one of them. This weekend I was supposed to see Doctor Strange, but there was so much buzz on the internet and on social media that I had to see this movie because there were the crazy religious people who said that this movie promotes the gay agenda, whatever that is. And then you had the liberals saying that this movie was extraordinary and it was great. You had a couple of people on YouTube, some that were gay and some that were straight. They really made it so that it piqued my interest because when there are so many conflicting uh, views on one thing, it made me want to go see it. Because right at the last minute, I changed my mind. I said, I'm going to go see this movie. I was at the ticket office to see Doctor Strange, and I said, let me see what this movie's about, because I also had a couple of friends who saw it, and they said that the movie was really good, and some said it was long and boring. Okay, the movie is really long, but to me it flew by because it was very, very cerebral. This is a very cerebral movie. If you want things to blow up, if you want things to have, it's not a lot of sex, it's not a lot of nudity, which will be all right for the straight guys that end up watching this movie if their girlfriend make them go to it. There's not a lot of male nudity. There's not a lot of sex. There's maybe one kiss in the whole movie, and everything is put in perspective. It's not about the gay. I don't see it turning anybody gay if they see this movie. I think that a lot of young men should see this movie because it really touch on the subject of bullying. And it's a lot of bullying going on, especially in the black community. Growing up, I was bullied. I bullied, but I never was a vicious bully. I was a taunt you to make you mad, and then I'm done with it kind of bully. I was never a violent bully or a bully that tried to beat someone down mentally. It was more of a play bully, but I was bullied very viciously by older guys because they want to roughen you up and toughen you up and want you to be a man. And they, anything that they find that is not what they consider to be manly, they tried to beat it out of you in some kind of way. My brothers did it also, and anybody. I did it to some kids. Like, stop crying. Black men, stop making your sons into a robot. That they don't cry, they walk a certain way, they talk a certain way, and they fit in. That's really the whole thing about this movie is trying to find, Sharad tried to find his way in the world and found out who he was. Really, it wasn't even about him being gay. It was about him being different. So that's what I think. That it was a couple of storylines in this movie. There was a love story. There were human interest stories. There were a story about coming of age. It was a lot of different stories in one story, and you could not get all this content in a simple format that have you in and out of the movie theater in a expeditious time. So I don't mind it. I didn't mind it being long because it caught my interest and I wanted to know what was going to happen. So I did not notice the time until it was time for me. I have a bladder the size of a pea. For me to use the restroom, and I was like, okay, this movie need to end soon. But it was a really good movie. Let's talk about some of the principal actors and their role in this movie. The role of Chiron was played by three actors. As an adolescent, he went by the name of Little. As a teenager, he went by the name of Chiron, and as a young adult, he went by the name of Black. Chiron lived with his mother, Paula, in Liberty City, which is one of the roughest neighborhoods in Florida. Paula loved her son, and she wanted to help him as much as possible but she had her own demons to deal with. Chiron was being bullied one day and was saved by a local drug dealer. You may know this actor from the Netflix series Luke Cage. The two characters formed a bond, and Juan became a surrogate father to Chiron. Juan's girlfriend Teresa also formed a bond with Chiron. She gave him shelter and the love and the attention that he was not getting at home from his own mother. One of the things that really struck me in this movie was that the theater was almost half full. It was in one of probably the smallest venues in the movie theater, and it was only almost half full. It wasn't quite half full, and the people that I saw in there, it made me feel good that there were a lot of straight couples in there. There were a lot of single females in there. There were very few single men, so I'm assuming there were very few gay men in there. There were a few gay couples. There was not many, but it was a few. There were a lesbian couple and maybe two other gay couples in there. But this mostly was a date night. I think that a lot of women drug their men to see it, and there was a couple of groups of single black women. Other than that, I did not see a lot of gay men in the theater. I think it's because there was not a lot of sex, and there's not a lot of nudity, and it's not about that life. It's really about a boy coming of age, and it's a very touching movie. It's not about getting out there and doing it and dipping it and doing it, as Wendy would say. It was about, something that was real, and I think that the younger generation are, if it's not salacious or if it's not about being out there and being fantastic, you know what I'm trying to say. They don't want any parts to do with it. Nothing blew up. There was no sex. There was no nudity. So there you have it like that. I will also like to acknowledge the actors who played the character of Kevin. He was a very important character in the role of Chiron's life. The movie Moonlight is a very profound movie, and I think that everyone should see it, gay or straight. It has nothing to do with really about Chiron's life as being gay and how he became gay. It's just a story about a boy's life and how he chose over other kids, choosing to hide in the shadows. He just chose to be himself, and how life really dealt him. But he came out in the end. He survived. And a lot of people who are bullied, especially bullied very harshly about their manhood, a lot of kids kill themselves over stuff like that. So I think this is a movie that a lot of mothers or fathers should take their child to see, and it would probably stop a lot of the bullying and a lot of understanding about kids. Everybody's different, and some people chose to fall in line and some people don't. Anyway, I hope you go see it, and thank you for watching my videos, and be sure to like my video, comment on my video, share my video, and subscribe. And if you get a chance, please check out my art website at billthebarber.pixels.com. And I thank you again.